Well, after nearly a year away at war, they were supposed to be coming home. Instead, 30 soldiers from the Idaho National Guard ended up staying at Joint Base Lewis McChord longer than expected.
The 116th Brigade is made up of soldiers from Idaho, Montana, and Oregon. They started coming home in waves late last month, but a backlog at the base pushed the final return back several days. KXLY4's North Idaho reporter Anusha has a story from Coeur d'Alene.
For families so eager to see their loved ones and soldiers so close to home, any delay to leave Joint Base Lewis McChord can feel like an eternity. And that's exactly what some Idaho soldiers have had to deal with over the last several days.
Last year, we said goodbye to the 116th Cavalry Brigade, soldiers destined for Iraq. While the time apart was difficult for many, the soldiers are now back on U.S. soil. But the wait to be reunited with their loved ones was longer than some expected.
He called a couple of days ago, said his paperwork was done and is waiting on a plane, and then they got a plane, then they got bumped. And
John and Opal Ritz have been waiting for months to see their son, who's a part of the Idaho National Guard. He got caught up in a delay at Joint Base Lewis McChord.
Disappointing that, after time of serving our country over there, that they couldn't, they knew they were coming home.
From base to home isn't a quick turnaround. On average, it can take up to 12 days to be released. Over the last week, a National Guard spokesman says the system got overwhelmed with so many soldiers returning at the same time. State Senator John Getty got wind of the problem and immediately started talking to the Idaho National Guard and governor's office.
Well, I don't know that I did anything more than emphasize that there were soldiers in need, and then I was fortunate to have the general keep me updated on about a 30-minute basis through most of the evening.
Last night, about 20 soldiers, including Ritz's son, were put on a bus, reaching the Post Falls Armory early this morning. The National Guard says it's already doing some things differently to keep this from happening again.
I just don't want to see it to happen to other parents and families, wives and kids.
In North Idaho, Anusha, KXLY4 HD News.
U.S. Army and National Guard team are working on improvements now. The National Guard says focusing on a soldier's individual travel plans rather than trying to get everyone home at the same time is helpful.